Hello, it's me, Grandma Frank. Yeah, taking that stroll. You know, I've got to apologize. I almost gave up on my video hobby. And this is something I love to do, and it's been very encouraging for me. But at some point, I let quarantine fatigue get to me, and I got discouraged. Discouragement is real. It's real, people, but we have to push through it. We have to keep trying and not give up. I almost gave up. I almost gave up. I almost just shut down my channel and said, never mind. But really, it has been encouraging. It has been a good, healthy journey for me. And I'm hoping someone also was encouraged, just even if one person was encouraged enough to keep it moving and beat quarantine fatigue and eat right and walk right. And, then I'm glad and I want to continue to share. I appreciate it. I appreciate you viewing, no matter how many views I get. Honestly, I just appreciate reaching out with the videos and taking you along with me on this journey. And it actually has been encouraging for me. It's been something that has kept me focused. So I'm not giving up. What? No. We're picking it back up. I'm starting from scratch. I got to start all over, but that's okay. Doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. Hello, I'm back. Wasn't it beautiful outside? Were you able to get out in it? I hope so. Even if you're not up for the walk today, get out and get that vitamin D. Enjoy the sunshine. Just get out in it and take advantage of this beautiful weather we're having. I want to do a story time. It's the weekend, and you know I love doing story time on the weekend. So if we're getting back on track, we got to get back on track with story time too. So let's get right into it. The Artist, Chapter 10. Sorrel spends a long day in the light side just outside the forest. It's so bright, fresh, and beautiful there. But she finally goes back to her den and finds Artist waiting for her there. "Where have you been?" he asks. "I've been so worried." Sorrel smiles at him, waiting for his shocked response that she is no longer a canine, but now she's a woman. But to her surprise, he reaches out and tenderly pats her as he has always done, as if he didn't notice a change in her at all. She starts to speak up. "Look at me, Artist. Can't you see the change?" But just as before, he can't understand her. He knows she's trying to tell him something. So she takes him by the hand and she tries to lead him to the far back of the den. She wants to show him the opening to the light side outside the forest. She has found it and she wants to share it, but he just won't follow. "Stop all that barking, girl. Come out, sit outside with me by the fire. I have some of your favorite foods and a surprise for you." Sorrel was so puzzled that Artist couldn't see any change in her at all. She followed him out to the fire and sat with him a while. They enjoyed a beautiful meal together, and then he told her to sit and wait right there while he went to go and get her surprise for her. He came out of the shelter with his first masterpiece. It was the beautiful Lene lounge, and he was giving it to Sorrel to have in her den. This lounger was so sturdy and strong, as well as appealing to the eye, and most of all, it was very comfortable. Sorrel was so excited. She couldn't believe he was giving it to her for her den. She curled up in the lounge and thanked Artist for her gift. Artist laughed pleasingly and said, "Wait, girl, let's get it into your den first." Most people wouldn't think of putting such a thing as this in a wild dog's den, but you are no ordinary dog. You are very special to me, Sorrel. Sorrel responded, "But Artist, look at me. I am not a dog anymore. Can't you see?" Artist still couldn't understand her, and she couldn't understand why the people on the light side out of the forest could hear and understand her just fine. They could see she was a woman, but why couldn't Artist? Sorrel got up and followed Artist as he put the beautiful Lene lounger in her den. Sorrel was so happy to have this artist original. She curled up in it and went right to sleep. Artist went back to his shelter, feeling good about the gift that he gave Sorrel and how much she seemed to enjoy it. In the morning, Sorrel went back to the opening that led to the light side just outside the forest. She visited and talked with many of the residents there. It turned out that most of them were from the forest originally, but after moving out of the forest, they decided never to move back again. Sorrel met a very nice couple there, June and Jeff. They were so kind and so much fun to spend time with and talk to. They themselves once lived in the forest many years ago. They warned Sorrel how dangerous life in the forest was and how important it was for her to move out of it, and soon. Sorrel understood everything they were saying to her, and she knew that they were right. She had seen for herself the gloomy dangers of the forest. But how could she get Artist to see? How could she get him to come through the opening with her? She went back to her den, but Artist wasn't there. So she ran to his shelter. He wasn't there either. She looked through the forest, but Artist couldn't be found by her. He had gone back to the village to visit his friends. Sorrel stopped looking for him and went back to that comforting far end of her den. Only now, what used to be a tiny, warm, glowing light is a bright, inviting window for her to look and go through. As she lay there, gazing at the sights just outside the forest, she reflected on how life in the forest has been and how beautiful life on the bright side promises to be. She thinks about the warning she received to move out of the forest and never look back. Sorrel has some decisions to make. I can't wait to see what happens. Is she gonna move outside the forest, or is she gonna stay in the forest? What is she gonna do? And is Artist gonna ever come and venture out and see what it's like on the light side himself? Does he even know that exists? Interesting. Sounds to me like everybody in that forest needs to pack up and move out. The forest is a dangerous place to be. So it sounds to me like all those people in the village, they need to come on and move out of the forest and go join that bright side of things where life sounds a lot better and a lot more promising. Anyway, that's the end of our story time for today, but we'll find out what's going on still. There's still a lot of unanswered questions about this whole situation. So I'm looking for, it's obvious this was written by an amateur. That's very obvious, but I really like the story and I'm enjoying the story, and I hope you're enjoying it with me. Amateur or no amateur, this story is intriguing for me. So I'm going to keep sharing it with you, and I hope you enjoy it too. Okay, that being said, bye. Have a good day. Enjoy the weather. Bye-bye.